What's up, guys? It's me, Pezlips, and today I'm going to be talking about my experience with this fella. My hands are shaky, goodness. With this fella, the DI Tsunami clone Reblade for the Armshark Tsunami handles. So, first let's start with a sound test. My safe handle is a lot better tuned than my bite handle, and these guys were hand tuned by yours truly, and I'll get into that experience a little bit later. But first off, let's just talk about the looks. This guy it has milling lines on it. Might be a little bit hard to come up on the camera, but it's a stunner. This guy looks really good. I've already taken it outside. It's dropped on concrete. I'll explain why I'm choosing to beat this guy in a little bit, but it looks really good. The handles themselves have a really good distance apart. I feel like it looks just like the thing, just like the real one, basically. I don't actually have one, so I can't really say for sure, but the close gap is a little bit on the smaller side, but I prefer the smaller side rather than them being like super open anyways, so no complaints from me on the way that it looks. Its sound is okay, and that's primarily because the tolerances are really bad. And why are the tolerances bad, you might be asking? Well, here is the biggest concern. I picked this guy up $40 off of Call-A-Song. Now, this is DI's first product. He has never made anything before. Well, they have never made anything before. And this being their first product has some concerns. When I got it, the $40 seemed okay, pretty decent price. And I thought it was going to come with hardware. Well, it kind of comes with hardware. No pivot, no washers, but it does come with 2 undersized bushings. Yeah, so mine, it had 2 undersized bushings, both of them undersized, which meant that they were basically just scrap metal. So I don't know if I'm paying extra for the bushings, but there's like not even a point to have them, at least in mine, which was a little upsetting because then I had to figure out a way to even make this thing fit into my knife and make any sort of decent sound. And that's where the Armshark Kraken, or I think it's actually the Bally Plus Kraken. Yeah, the Bally Plus Kraken bushings, they fit. They're the same dimensions in terms of like their size, except for their actual width, right? So when you actually have to tune it, you got to tune it by quite a bit because this is considerably thinner than the Kraken, Kraken clone. But I was able to use that in my safe handle, and the safe handle has a much better sound and feel than the bite handle. And here's the bite handle. You can hear the issue when I fan. Do you hear that slap? It also sounds hollow, and that's because I might have undersized it a little bit. But I had so much play that I was thinking, oh well, I have a pretty good amount to go, and this thing's pretty darn cranked down. But if I like so totally cranked down, it will start to bind. So this is about as good as I was able to get it, which is not great. I've like shown you guys the videos before, my shorts, of me flipping this thing after I just tuned it, and it was really good, but the sound still was not nearly as good as what I had expected. The trainer blade on this thing makes it sound so good that it's actually quite disappointing. And I used to have the Hydra blade on this thing, and that sounded really good too. And to switch to this, it's an interesting change because it looks better, but it sounds worse, and it feels better and worse, which is another thing. Let's get to the balance. I like the balance on this thing a lot more than the balance of the trainer blade, despite the fact that it has the tolerance issues, and you basically get worthless hardware. And my problem with the hardware sizing is not unique. Many people have complained about their knife coming in with undersized bushings, which is very disappointing. And, I feel bad for DI, right? Because if that's your first product, you're kind of going out of the gates, just ruining your trust. And you can hear it's already going to get tapped because the thing's getting loose again. So in terms of the flips, though, the balance is really nice. It's like neutral with, I would say it's basically dead on neutral. There might be a tiny little bit of handle bias here. Not even. Like, sometimes it feels like it has blade bias. I can show you guys the swing test and you can tell me. I mean, the blade almost goes to the center, so it's basically neutral. Blade bias, I don't think, is an accurate representation of the balance. But in terms of the looks and the actual performance of the flipping, aside from the tolerance issues, this thing is very fun. I really do enjoy it. And it looks really clean. The milling lines are actually there. And this isn't just like a painted on area. It's actually etched into it, so it will stay after getting beaten or worn down, which is also a nice thing. I would not recommend this. It's been nice to have something to work on to tune, but there's certain aspects of it that make it kind of impossible to tune. So part of that is because of this blade itself not being polished at the pivot area, so it's really rough, meaning that you get kind of the action is a lot rougher than what you're used to. And because of that, these washers have been constantly spitting up like metal gunk. You can see right there, there's like that brown stuff, and that's, I mean, I have carbon honey thick in here. I mean, it's been a while since I've lubed it. Maybe I should have lubed it before the video, but like it just, I'm basically sacrificing this set of washers to do the polishing work for me. And then another thing, he didn't chamfer the inside cutouts of the blade where the bushings would rest in. I've heard other people on Reddit talk about this. I don't know the explanation as to why that is, but it apparently makes it easier to hit a tune, and I think that's just because it helps to account for the slight variances of the actual milling of the blade. Like if the blade is a little like off center or like not level or something like that, then the milling probably like accounts for some of those errors. Hard to say, but because of that, because of those things in combination with one another, having undersized bushings as well, it's just a little bit of a disappointing product for $40 on top of the Arm Shark. Oh gosh, what was it, 130 or something like that? Like, you'd expect this thing to just be there, but unfortunately it's not. There is rumors about Arm Shark releasing their own false edge live blade. False edge live, false live. Goodness, their false live blade trainer, I guess, which will be coming out if it does, probably later in the year. So I think if that rumor is true, which, there's been videos of it circulating, but I don't know if that means that it's actually going to make it into main circulation. Definitely wait and save for that. If you like a project and you want something to work on, you're not going to get a great sound out of this guy, but the looks are going to be there. I'm using this guy as a beater because of that, because I know the sound's not going to be there, and it's titanium, it's going to hold up well. If this thing takes some damage, so be it, right? That's okay with me. And then I can just not worry about the tolerances being super, super tight, because that's not really something that would ever really be manageable for a long period of time with a beater anyway. So my plan is to keep this guy as my beater, just trash him around, and then either just get a second Arm Shark Tsunami trainer when I have actual cash for it, Or if they release that false edge, I'm gonna just use that one as my safe queen, and this one will be my my little trash king. So yeah, I would hold off. Apparently, there's a polished version of this thing coming out soon, which should have better QC in regards to those bushings. We'll have to just wait and see, right? Because, like I was saying, that brand confidence, that brand trust, has already kind of gone off to a rocky start. But we'll just have to see who else buys it. I'm not gonna buy it. I don't want to take that risk, especially considering that I, already have one. But it'll be interesting to see if this polished version solves the issues that the first one brought with it. So let's try to go for the scissor, and then we can end this video. That was almost it. So that's one. I mean, kind of. Last one. You know what's crazy, guys, is that I filmed a video and I accidentally deleted it, and I was like over here, and I hit it too, and I was so hyped, and then I went to post it, and it was just gone, and I had cleaned out my recently deleted as well. So you'll just have to believe me, it totally happened, and I also did every single trick that was super hard on that one video. But yeah, it's been Pez, guys. I'll see you later.